a research study that was done by a Greek researcher working in Switzerland. His name was Ted Fotsis, and he looked at the urine of villagers outside of Kyoto, Japan. These villagers were all vegetarians. They ate mostly soy, okay? And he had frozen jars of this urine. And his boss, his supervisor, said, go find something interesting to do with the urine or toss it out. So he went to look for hormones inside the urine, thinking that he was an endocrinologist. So he was interested in looking at hormones. When he ran the urine underneath this thing called a mass spectrometry, okay, you see these spikes. And he found a spike that didn't belong in the human. And it only came from the soybean. And it was a spike of genistein. So he cut out that spike, which we can do in the lab, and he tested it on blood vessels that would be feeding cancer. It immediately stopped those blood vessels from growing. And so this was to discover that genistein found in plant-based foods like soybeans could actually be anti-angiogenic, and they could cut off the blood supply feeding cancers.
Meet Dr. William Li, a world-renowned Harvard-trained medical doctor, researcher, and president and founder of the Angiogenesis Foundation. His work has led to more than 40 FDA-approved therapeutics and devices for cancer, cardiovascular disease, wound healing, and vision loss. He is also a New York Times best-selling author of Eat to Beat Disease, The New Science of How Your Body Can Heal Itself, and Eat to Beat Diet, Burn Fat, Heal Your Metabolism, and Live Longer. Disclaimer: the information provided in this video is for educational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified health provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. Do not disregard professional medical advice or delay in seeking it because of something you have read or seen in this video.
If you deliberately cut off the blood vessels that are feeding fat, all right, it'll actually shrink the tube. It'll shrink tumors, and it'll also shrink fat. So although the tumor wants to grow more blood vessels, and it can't, so it starts to die in the middle. If you then step in and do an intervention to really cut off the blood vessels, that fat mass will shrink. And this has been shown very conclusively in the lab that this can actually happen. Green tea, the catechins, EGCG, powerful anti-angiogenic, can cut off the blood supply feeding tumors, can cut off the blood supply feeding fat as well. So one of the reasons I really came up to this whole idea of body fat is not only my background in this research, thinking about, well, maybe fat growing the way that we talked about, cloning itself, getting bigger and bigger and bigger, hypoxic in the middle. That, to me, resembles a tumor exactly. And so the question is, could we tame the tumor by taming the blood supply? And I remember the work that was done earlier, and it turns out that many of the foods that I wrote about in my first book.
Soy foods are one of the most controversial foods today, often caught in debates about their potential risks and benefits. On one hand, some claim that soy can disrupt hormones and increase the risk of certain cancers. On the other hand, a growing body of research points to soy as a nutritional powerhouse that can help prevent and even fight disease. So, what's the truth? According to Dr. Li, soy holds the key to not only preventing cancer, but also beating it. Backed by decades of scientific studies, Dr. Li explains that soy's unique compounds, known as isoflavones, possess powerful anti-cancer properties that inhibit the growth of cancer cells and support overall health.
Eating large amounts of soybean proteins was associated with benefits to lower the risk of cancer. In fact, a 15% reduction in stomach cancer and other gastrointestinal cancers by eating soybeans. This genistein is anti-angiogenic. That means it cuts off the blood supply to tumors and beneficial.
Rather than being harmful, soy can play a critical role in maintaining long-term wellness by actively fighting disease at the cellular level. Soy has been a cornerstone of Asian diets for over 4,000 years, with its origins traced back to ancient China. In many Asian cultures, soy is highly regarded not only as a staple food, but also for its medicinal properties. Dr. Li emphasizes soy's long history as a health-promoting food, playing a key role in plant-based diets across Asia. Its versatility and importance in traditional diets reflect its enduring value, contributing to the health and longevity observed in these regions. Dr. Lee emphasizes the importance of consuming whole, organic soy to retain its potent anti-angiogenic properties. These forms of soy provide a complete source of plant-based protein and nutrients, which help to fight cancer. In contrast, highly processed soy products may not offer the same health benefits, as much of the natural goodness is stripped away during processing. It's also crucial to avoid genetically modified soy, as its health benefits are significantly compromised compared to organic varieties. Let's explore which soy foods Dr. Lee recommends to beat disease. Miso.
Inside our body, we're packed with bacteria at the lower end of our gut. Okay. It's in an area at the home, the Great Barrier Reef of these natural bacteria in our body is in a part of the colon called the cecum. CECUM. And if you're in the medical field, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But it's a part of the organ system that a lot of people aren't familiar with that term. Because, I used to wonder, like, okay, so where does a microbiome, where do all these bacteria live? It's called the cecum. All right. So when I went to medical school, I was, very quickly in the first week of school taught bacteria are bad, and you're going to learn and memorize all the bacteria that are bad. And then you're going to actually take pharmacology, and we're going to teach about all the drugs, antibiotics that can be used to kill the bad bacteria.
Dr. Lee recommends miso because it's a fermented soy product that promotes good digestion and supports gut health due to its probiotic content. Miso's fermentation process enhances its health benefits, making it effective in protecting the body against cancer and disease. According to a review in the Journal of Toxicologic Pathology, one important study discussed in the review looked at how fermented miso affects lung cancer in rats. In this study, researchers gave male rats a substance known to cause cancer, and then fed them a diet that included either a short fermented miso, 3 to 4 days, or a long fermented miso, 180 days. After a period of time, the rats were examined to see how many developed lung tumors. The results were promising. While all the rats had some lung nodules, those that consumed the long fermented miso had significantly fewer nodules compared to the others. This suggests that the longer fermentation process may enhance the protective effects of miso against lung cancer. The review also mentioned other studies that support the idea that soy products can help reduce the risk of various cancers. For example, a study in Belgium found that eating soy was linked to a lower risk of colon and rectal cancers. Similarly, research in China showed that men who consumed more soy products and miso had fewer colon tumors. In Hawaii, women who included soy in their diets were less likely to develop large intestinal cancer. Additionally, miso is a good source of essential vitamins and minerals, making it a nutritious ingredient that can easily be added to soups, sauces, or even dressings to boost overall wellness. Tofu.
Tofu and soy foods. These are foods made from soybeans. Tofu is made from soybeans. And let's talk about tofu, for example. Now, you can go to the grocery store and very easily in the refrigeration section, you can actually find soft tofu versus firm tofu. But that's not all there is. There are lots of different types of tofu. If you go to an Asian grocery store, all right, there are these big mega stores with Asian groceries. You'll find not only the soft tofu and firm tofu, but you'll also find tofu skin. You'll find different types of fermented tofu. You'll find fermented soybeans. There's a kind of soybean that's fermented called natto. It's a Japanese delicacy. It's a pretty potent fermented soybean, but it's got the highest level of genistein, which is a phytoestrogen that's good for cutting off the blood supply to cancer. It's very beneficial for our health defense system. So fermented foods, as you know, is a probiotic food like natto. Now you get all the other benefits of the protein from the soy foods as well.
Dr. Lee recommends tofu because it contains powerful natural compounds, called isoflavins, that help block the growth of blood vessels feeding cancer cells, effectively starving the cancer. Tofu is also a great source of plant-based protein and is low in fat, making it a healthy and easy-to-use option in meals. Dr. Lee highlights that eating tofu can help balance hormones and protect against hormone-related cancers, like breast and prostate cancer, which makes it an important food for staying healthy and fighting disease. The review published in Frontiers in Nutrition looked closely at how eating soy products like tofu might affect cancer risk. The researchers analyzed data from several studies that tracked people's diets and their cancer outcomes over time. The main finding was that eating more soy foods was linked to a lower risk of certain cancers, especially breast and prostate cancer. This means that the more soy someone eats, the less likely they might be to develop these types of cancer. The review suggested that this protective effect could be due to the isoflavones in soy. Isoflavones are natural substances that can act like estrogen in the body, which is important because estrogen can influence the growth of some cancers. The review explained that isoflavones might help protect against cancer by reducing oxidative stress, which can damage cells, and lowering inflammation, which can contribute to cancer development. These factors are important in how cancer develops in the body. Soy nuts. Dr. Lee recommends soy nuts for their powerful cancer-fighting properties, making them an excellent addition to a healthy diet. These crunchy, nutrient-packed snacks are rich in essential compounds that inhibit a critical process known as angiogenesis, the formation of new blood vessels that supply nutrients to tumors. Without a steady blood supply, tumors struggle to grow and spread, effectively slowing down or halting their development. This makes soy nuts an important food in the fight against cancer, as they target the disease at its root by cutting off the blood vessels that fuel cancer cell growth. According to the American Institute for Cancer Research, soy foods like soy nuts may play an important role in reducing cancer risk, particularly when consumed in moderation. Research results have shown that soy consumption does not increase the risk of cancer, even for breast cancer survivors. In fact, consistent findings from population studies indicate no increased risk for breast cancer survivors who include soy in their diets. While research varies depending on factors like the type of soy food consumed, the type of cancer, and individual differences, the American Institute for Cancer Research notes that soy foods may decrease the risk of lung cancer and improve outcomes for breast cancer survivors. Soy milk.
Another soy product is soy milk. Soy milk is the choice that I would actually have to cut the strength of your coffee. If you really wanted some milk in your coffee, use soy milk instead of dairy milk. And why would you do that? Is because dairy milk contains dairy fat, and those dairy fats form little soap bubbles that trap the good polyphenols in coffee, like chlorogenic acid. So when you drink coffee with cream or coffee with milk, dairy milk, what's actually happening is that those little soap bubbles trap the good polyphenols and don't tumble down into your stomach. Most of it won't get absorbed. Some of it will, but most of it tumbles right through to your lower gut, and you've missed the opportunity to benefit from most of the polyphenols. Soy milk and nut-based milks, plant-based milks don't have that. So soy milk, oat milk, nut milk, almond milk, no problem.
Dr. Lee suggests incorporating soy milk into your diet as a simple way to gain the cancer-fighting benefits of soy. Soy milk provides essential nutrients that help block the blood supply to cancer cells, slowing their growth. It's an excellent alternative to dairy, offering plant-based protein while supporting overall health. According to a review published in the journal Nutrients, consuming soy milk and other unfermented soy foods may help reduce the risk of prostate cancer, a common cancer in men. The review analyzed 30 studies that examined the relationship between soy intake and prostate cancer risk, finding that overall, eating more soy foods was associated with a 29% lower risk of developing the disease. Notably, unfermented soy foods, such as soy milk and tofu, showed a stronger protective effect, with a risk reduction of about 35%. In contrast, fermented soy foods, like soy sauce and miso, did not demonstrate a significant association with reduced cancer risk. The potential benefits of soy are attributed to isoflavones, such as genistein and didzine, which may inhibit cancer cell growth and reduce inflammation in the body. The authors suggest that incorporating soy milk and other unfermented soy products into the diet could be a beneficial strategy for lowering prostate cancer risk. Whether used in smoothies, poured over cereal, or added to coffee, soy milk is a versatile option that makes it easy to include more cancer-fighting foods in your daily routine.
We have been developing treatments for cancer that are designed to starve a cancer by cutting off its blood supply. And that's the process of angiogenesis that is hijacked by tumors, by cancer cells, to get selfishly develop their own blood supply, right? So I told you the body has normal circulation to feed healthy tissues. Well, cancers can sometimes hijack that. So one of the new ways to treat cancer is actually to give a drug that can intercept a cancer's ability to recruit a private blood supply. That's starving a cancer, cutting off its blood supply, can't get oxygen and nutrients, can't grow.
Now, let's address the common concerns about soy and its effects on the body. Soy and breast cancer risk.
Now look what happens when you actually extract soybeans. You shut that down. There's no estrogen receptors in here, okay? So this is the human estrogen, and soy plant estrogens are very different, but soy contains phytoestrogens, phytochemicals that actually are powerful inhibitors of angiogenesis. So this actually overturns some of this urban legend that women who are at risk for breast cancer, who have breast cancer, should actually avoid soy. In fact, we know this is true because if you jump from the preclinical over into human studies, take a look at this study. This is actually published in JAMA, where they actually studied 5,000 women who already had breast cancer, and what they found is that those women who ate more soy actually had a lower risk of death. This is women with breast cancer, and if they had it completely treated, they had a lesser chance of recurrence as well. How much soy do they need to actually consume in order to get this effect? About 10 grams of soy protein per day. That's about the amount of soy protein in a cup of soy milk. So practical levels can be achieved, and this is actually a public health study that helps us to correlate what we're actually finding preclinically in drug development assays. So this is actually an example of what we can actually do to be able to make a case and start to dig a little bit deeper using the tools that we already have to understand food as medicine. Now, you might say, well, that was just one study you showed. How do we know that this is true on a larger, will it hold up over larger studies? This is a meta-analysis, 17 studies, and you can see correlating breast cancer and soy intake in terms of death and survival in every single case. The survival advantage is in favor of soy consumption, not death.
A common fear surrounding soy is its potential to increase breast cancer risk due to its plant-based estrogen compounds. However, research, including Dr. Lee's findings, shows that soy does not raise breast cancer risk. In fact, soy can actually lower the risk by blocking harmful estrogen activity in the body. Studies, such as the Shanghai Breast Cancer Survival Study, have demonstrated that women who consume higher amounts of soy have a reduced rate of breast cancer recurrence and lower mortality. The plant estrogens in soy act as protective agents rather than contributors to cancer growth. According to a review published in the European Journal of Epidemiology, a significant study examined the relationship between soy intake and breast cancer risk among 300,000 Chinese women. The study involved a large and diverse group of women from various regions in China, providing a clearer understanding of how soy consumption might influence health. Researchers asked participants about their soy consumption and estimated the average amount of soy isoflavones, which are beneficial compounds found in soy. The findings indicated that for every 10 milligrams increase in soy isoflavone intake per day, there was a 3% reduction in the risk of developing breast cancer. This suggests that consuming moderate to high amounts of soy may help protect against breast cancer, particularly for women in Asian countries where soy is commonly eaten. The review also discussed how soy isoflavones might lower cancer risk. These compounds are similar to estrogen, a hormone that can influence breast cancer development, and they may act as blockers to reduce estrogen's effects in the body. Soy and digestive issues.
Good gut health is important. Your gut health means that your microbiome, your gut bacteria, healthy gut bacteria, 39 trillion bacteria in your gut, mostly in your colon, and mostly in a part of the colon called the cecum, they, when they're happy and content and well-fed, meaning that what we eat feeds not only our human cells, but it feeds our bacterial cells. When we feed our bacteria good things, they pay us back by producing short-chain fatty acids. These are metabolites from what we feed them, and these short-chain fatty acids actually are anti-inflammatory, so they actually make us feel better and lower inflammation. So you got to protect your gut health if you've got arthritis and you're trying to control the swelling and the pain, because your gut is one of the most powerful anti-inflammatory mechanisms, defense systems that we actually have.
Some people worry that soy can cause digestive discomfort, especially for those sensitive to legumes. While it's true that soy, like many other plant foods, contains compounds like phytic acid, which can sometimes interfere with nutrient absorption, fermented soy products like miso and tempeh help break down these compounds, making soy easier to digest.
It's true There are some bacteria that are really bad actors, and they cause all kinds of problems. But by and large, most of the bacteria that we will encounter in our lives are inside our body, not outside our body. And most of the bacteria are good, not bad. And that's what we call our gut microbiome. Our gut microbiome actually is an ecosystem of 39 trillion bacteria, most of it living inside our gut. And what they do inside our gut is they eat the food that our body doesn't digest.
According to a review in the journal Nutrients, researchers examined how consuming soy-based foods affects gut health, particularly in relation to colorectal cancer risk. They analyzed over 40 studies and found that eating soy does not significantly increase the risk of colorectal cancer and may even be associated with a slight decrease in risk. A major focus of the review was the difference between fermented and unfermented soy products, especially soy milk. Fermented soy milk, which contains beneficial bacteria, showed more positive effects on gut health compared to regular soy milk. This is likely due to the probiotics in fermented products that help create a healthier gut environment. Additionally, individuals who can metabolize a compound called equal, derived from soy isoflavones, experienced more significant improvements in their gut health after consuming soy. The review also looked at the effects of soy protein. While soy protein can increase beneficial substances in the gut, consuming too much soy protein, more than 25% of one's diet, could potentially harm intestinal tissue more than dairy protein. However, adding fiber to the diet helped reduce these negative effects. Dr. Lee notes that incorporating fermented soy products into the diet not only supports gut health, but also maximizes the anti-cancer properties of soy. Soy and hormone health in men and women.
Let's talk about what is a hormone. A hormone is a chemical messenger that's made in your body that tells one organ or multiple organs what to do in order to function for health. Now, hormones can affect you physically, they can affect you mentally, they can affect you emotionally, and hormones can even affect you socially. There are social hormones that your brain actually produces. We're going to talk about some of those. Hormones are also key for sexual health and for function and for reproduction. So if you want to have a baby, your hormones have to work well, both if you're a man as well as if you're a woman. Now, how many hormones are in the body? That's a great question. There's probably hormones we haven't discovered yet, but as of last count, there's about 50 hormones that are circulating in a human body. Now, some of the hormones that you may have heard about are like thyroid hormone or cortisol, or of course, insulin for blood sugar control. Then there's the social hormone oxytocin, and estrogen, which you probably heard about, and progesterone.
Many women worry about the impact of soy on menopause symptoms, believing it might exacerbate hormonal imbalances. Dr. Lee explains that soy can actually help regulate estrogen levels during menopause, offering relief from symptoms like hot flashes. The plant estrogens in soy can mimic the body's natural estrogen, helping to balance hormone levels without the negative side effects associated with synthetic hormone replacement therapy. According to a review in the International Journal of Molecular Sciences, isoflavones found in soybeans may help reduce menopausal symptoms, especially hot flashes. The review points out that women in Asian countries eat a lot more soy than women in Western countries. This difference in diet is linked to fewer hot flashes in Asian women after menopause. Only about 10 to 25% experience them, compared to 60 to 90% of women in Western countries. Isoflavones are natural compounds in soy that can act like estrogen, a hormone that decreases during menopause. They tend to work better with certain receptors in the body that are important for bone health and other functions, which may help lessen hot flashes. Several studies mentioned in the review found that taking soy supplements can help reduce hot flashes, although they are not as strong as hormone replacement therapy, which is a common treatment for menopause. One study found that a substance called equal, which comes from breaking down soy isoflavones, significantly helped reduce hot flashes in women after menopause. Men also often express concerns about the potential effects of soy on their hormone health, particularly regarding testosterone levels and fertility. A common misconception is that the phytoestrogens in soy, which mimic estrogen, could lower testosterone or lead to hormone imbalances in men. However, Dr. Lee and numerous studies have shown that this is not the case. research consistently demonstrates that soy does not negatively impact testosterone levels or fertility. In fact, consuming soy in moderate amounts can be a part of a healthy diet without causing hormonal disruption in men. Additionally, fears about soy causing gynecomastia, the enlargement of breast tissue in men, are unfounded. The plant-based estrogens in soy are far less potent than human estrogen and do not have the capacity to cause such effects.
You need to eat foods that are a good source of protein if you want to balance your hormones. Now, why is this? It's because proteins are made out of amino acids, and you need to put those into your body, and your body will break them down, and they will reassemble hormones out of those amino acids. So if you don't have enough, you're not going to be making proper hormones. So you need protein made of amino acids so that the body can recoup and capture those amino acids and use them to construct the hormones, the building blocks of hormones.
The review, published in Reproductive Toxicology, examined a wide range of studies to determine the effects of soy and isoflavones on male hormone levels and reproductive health. The analysis included data from numerous clinical trials involving adult men who consumed various forms of soy, such as soy foods, soy protein isolates, and isoflavone supplements. The key finding was that there were no significant changes in testosterone or estrogen levels among men who consumed soy products. This is important because there have been concerns that soy could feminize men by lowering testosterone levels or increasing estrogen levels. However, the evidence from this extensive review indicated that these fears are largely unfounded. Additionally, the review highlighted that men who included soy protein in their diets experienced similar benefits in muscle growth and strength as those who consumed animal proteins, such as whey protein. This suggests that soy can be a viable protein source for men, especially those engaged in resistance training or looking to build muscle. Soy and thyroid issues.
Your adiponectin levels, and mine, by the way, would be 1,000 times higher than any other hormone in your body. Higher than your thyroid, higher than your testosterone, higher than any other organ. And the reason is adiponectin is what allows insulin to pull that energy in to your cells. It's another hormone made by fat, by good, healthy fat. We need that fat to get our energy, our basic energy. All right?
There is a concern that soy can negatively affect thyroid function, particularly due to compounds known as goitrogens, which might interfere with the thyroid's ability to absorb iodine. However, Dr. Lee points out that moderate soy consumption does not pose a risk to thyroid health for individuals who maintain sufficient iodine intake. According to a review published in Scientific Reports, the impact of soy on thyroid health was examined through a systematic analysis of 18 studies. The researchers focused on whether soy products, particularly isoflavones, affect levels of key thyroid hormones, triiodothyronine, T3, thyroxine, T4, and thyroid-stimulating hormone, TSH. The findings showed that soy consumption did not significantly change T3 and T4 levels, indicating that soy is unlikely to harm thyroid function. There was a slight increase in TSH levels, but this change was modest and not clinically significant. Overall, the review suggests that moderate soy intake poses little risk to thyroid health, especially for postmenopausal women, aligning with previous assessments that found no harmful effects of soy isoflavones on thyroid function. For those with pre-existing thyroid conditions, it's important to ensure that their diet includes enough iodine-rich foods, like seaweed or iodized salt, while consuming soy. Whole, organic soy products, when eaten in moderation, should not disrupt normal thyroid function. Soy and bone health.
Since I study food as medicine, what I want to share with you is that in addition to seeing a medical professional, and in addition to whatever your doctor might recommend that you do, all right, and I do strongly suggest that you talk to a doctor about how to manage arthritis. You need a team. Your doctor is part of your team. What you can do for yourself, the kind of health care that you can do at home, is actually use food as medicine to address the inflammation. All right. Don't forget, arthritis, no matter what kind it is really characterized by inflammation that causes swelling and causes pain. So what are some of the ways to actually lower swelling? Well, there are foods that you can eat that have been shown in clinical studies to lower inflammation.
Another concern frequently raised is whether soy affects bone density. Some fear that consuming soy may inhibit calcium absorption, potentially leading to weaker bones. However, Dr. Lee explains that soy can actually benefit bone health, particularly in postmenopausal women. The plant compounds in soy support bone density by reducing bone loss and promoting bone-building activity, making it a useful food for preventing osteoporosis. Fermented soy products like miso and tempeh are especially beneficial as they are easier to digest and allow for better nutrient absorption, including calcium, which is crucial for maintaining strong bones. According to a review in the journal Therapeutic Advances in Musculoskeletal Disease, some studies suggest that soy can benefit bone health, particularly among Asian women. For instance, Chinese and Japanese postmenopausal women who consumed more soy had higher bone mineral density, indicating stronger bones. Isoflavones in soy, which mimic estrogen, may help protect bones, especially after menopause when estrogen levels drop. When buying soy products, Dr. Lee emphasizes the importance of choosing high-quality, organic, and non-GMO options to fully benefit from their cancer-fighting properties. He recommends looking for labels that clearly indicate the soy is organic and non-genetically modified. These products retain the natural compounds that support overall health and fight cancer. Dr. Lee also advises avoiding highly processed soy foods, such as soy protein isolates, which often contain unnecessary additives, preservatives, or fillers. These processed versions strip away many of soy's beneficial properties and may not offer the same health advantages as whole soy foods like tofu, tempeh, edamame, and soy milk. By selecting organic, whole soy products, you ensure you're getting the full nutritional value and the health benefits that come with them. Here are some simple recipes that you can easily incorporate into your diet to enjoy the full benefits of soy. Start your morning with a tofu scramble, a protein-rich alternative to eggs. Crumble firm tofu and sauté it with spinach, mushrooms, bell peppers, and onions. Add turmeric for a vibrant color, and a pinch of black salt for an egg-like flavor. Serve with avocado and whole grain toast for a filling, nutrient-packed breakfast that supports heart health and balances hormones. For lunch, try a tempeh stir-fry. Tempeh is a fermented soy product rich in probiotics and protein. Marinate slices of tempeh in a mixture of soy sauce, garlic, and ginger. Then stir-fry with broccoli, carrots, and snap peas. Serve over brown rice or quinoa for a gut-friendly, satisfying meal that offers cancer-fighting properties. Soy milk smoothies are a quick, nutritious option for any time of day. Blend together soy milk, frozen berries, a handful of spinach, and a tablespoon of almond butter for a creamy, antioxidant-rich smoothie. This drink is great for supporting heart health and reducing cholesterol levels. For a light snack, steamed edamame is a perfect choice. Simply steam the young soybeans and sprinkle them with a pinch of sea salt. This protein-rich snack is easy to prepare and great for keeping you full between meals. Miso soup is a comforting dish that's easy to make and supports digestion. In a pot of hot water or vegetable broth, dissolve a tablespoon of miso paste and add tofu cubes, seaweed, and scallions. This savory soup is not only delicious, but also packed with probiotics that promote gut health and enhance the body's natural defenses against disease. Another easy dinner option is a baked tofu bowl. Press firm tofu to remove excess water, then cut it into cubes and marinate in soy sauce, garlic, and olive oil. Bake until crispy and serve over roasted vegetables and brown rice, drizzled with tahini sauce. This meal provides a hearty dose of plant-based protein and cancer-fighting nutrients. Lastly, for a crunchy snack, try roasted soy nuts. These can be eaten on their own or added to salads and trail mixes. They offer a convenient way to enjoy the health benefits of soy on the go while keeping you energized throughout the day.